Welcome to Oriole Park at Camden Yards on a Tuesday night as the Orioles begin a 3-game series against the Los Angeles Angels. One day after the deck was reshuffled in Birdland. The trade deadline has come and gone, and so have several Oriole key contributors. Welcome to Oriole Baseball. I'm Mass and Kevin Brown. Ben McDonald will be with us shortly. It's been an emotional 30 hours, a difficult 30 hours for a lot of Orioles fans and a lot of folks around the organization. The Orioles did not know if they would be buyers or sellers. They were very much in the latter bucket yesterday, sending out 3 of their critical big league players: Taylor Ward to Seattle, Tyler Wells to Tampa Bay, and most notably Adley Rutschman, the second #1 overall pick in Orioles history. He goes to the Boston Red Sox, in-division rival, in a blockbuster deal, one of the most significant trade deadline deals in Orioles history. The Orioles sent Rutschman and Jake Rogers to Boston, received Carlos Narvaez, 3 minor leaguers and a player to be named later. Dean Kramer went to the Twins on Friday night. 3 pitchers came back, 2 minor leaguers and reliever Alex Hoppe from the Mariners, and Tyler Wells, a 1-for-1 swap with Tampa Bay. It's a pretty seismic day, Ben, in recent Orioles history. There's a lot to get into. We will throughout the day. Just wondering about your initial reactions.
Yeah, I mean, I think emotional is the word, you know, and people were so invested in Adley Rutschman. Remember when he got here in 2022 is when things started to turn around. The Orioles went on an incredible run in 23, winning over 100 ball games, made the playoffs the following year as well. Dean Kramer on the mound, so many big moments in an Oriole uniform, and of course Tyler Wells, who always stood up in front of the medium, was a class guy, would answer the bell every time, had an incredible year this year and a good Oriole career. So you hate to see those guys go. There's no doubt about it. It's emotional, and it's okay, like we talked about. It's okay to be sad about it. I think we're all a little bit shook up and sad about it, but the reality of baseball is when you don't play well, sometimes moves like this happen. And so I don't blame Mike Elias for making the moves that he did. I felt like at the time it's the right. The Orioles have not been playing well, and they've had some opportunities. Now, the good news is it wasn't a total sell-off, and a chance it's a 50-game sprint now, and they have an opportunity to still get in the playoffs, which is good.
We are going to have Mike Elias join us in the second inning, the Orioles president of baseball operations. He'll have a chance to talk through some of those moves with us. And oh, by the way, on this day, isn't it ironic that Grayson Rodriguez, who was traded for Taylor Ward in the offseason, comes back to pitch against the Orioles? Because of course he does. A lot to get into today, including Oriole baseball. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Bet365, where winning is everything. And by Amazon. Spend less on your kids for back to school. Back to Camden Yards for game 113 of 162. And in all the hubbub of the trade deadline and the moves, how about Cade Povich quietly returning to the rotation? He was on the IL, he was in AAA, and it's his first big league appearance since May the 7th.
Yeah, Slim Shady is back. Cade Povich making his 5th appearance, his 4th start. Remember, he went on the IL with a left elbow inflammation back on May the 18th. Spent 7 weeks on the IL. Then when he got healthy, was optioned to the minor leagues. In the minor leagues, he did have 10 appearances, was 1-5, went 47 innings and 48 strikeouts. And this is StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. 2 and a 4-seam fastball for Cade Povich. That leaves away about 42%. Then it's the curveball, the slider, and the changeup. And I tell you what, the curveball is his best pitch with up here. Opponent's hitting .091 with a 38% swing and miss off of that curveball.
The Los Angeles Angels, a major deadline sell-off. They made 5 trades prior to the deadline yesterday, sending out Jose Soriano, Joe Adell, Brent Suter, Ryan Zephyr, John Kirby Yates, among others. This is what's left for Kurt Suzuki. The Angels 43-69, the Orioles 54-58, and we are underway at 6:36 on Tuesday, August the 4th, with a fastball in from Cade Povich to Zach Neto, who grounds the next pitch foul. Mike Trout is still here, the big name in the Angels lineup, batting second, and he does so for an LA team which comes in 18-36 on the road. Again, the Orioles have maintained that they want to still be competitive this year. Didn't want to dismantle the group. Well, this is a series you have to win. As Colton Cowser makes the catch off of a Zach Neto fly ball on an 83-degree night.
Let's take a look at the Oriole defense behind 26-year-old Cade Povich, brought to you by Car Shield. Left to right in the outfield, Christian Franklin making his MLB debut. Colton Cowser in center, Beavers in right. Henderson and Holiday, your double play combination. CES back over at third, the Polar Bear at first, and Carlos Narvaez making his Oriole debut behind home plate.
And he was one of the new acquisitions. Narvaez coming over from the Red Sox in the Adley Rutschman deal. The Orioles certainly like Narvaez defensively. He has taken a real offensive downgrade this year, but they think there's more bat in there after a very good rookie year last season. And Narvaez, who was traded yesterday, got to Baltimore this morning, is already in there behind the plate catching Cade Povich as they work on the future Hall of Famer Mike Trout.
Yeah, supposed to be a pretty good defensive catcher. Supposed to be able to block pretty well, throw really well, frame the ball.
Narvaez is here, and Christian Franklin as well, Ben, a left fielder making his major league debut. So 2 new Orioles today, and we expect Alex Hoppe, the new reliever coming over from Seattle, to join the club tomorrow. So a few new faces for Craig Albernaz. And of course, some old faces gone as Povich misses with a fastball high to Trout.
Mike Trout, 18 homers on the year, 40 RBIs.
34-year-old Trout ready for 2-2, and he spoils a changeup out of play.
Mike Trout in his 16th big league season now. 3-time MVP, rookie of the year way back in 2012, 12-time All-Star. Still doing it.
Change up and away. It's 3-2 for Trout. These Angels 22nd in the majors at 4.2 runs per game, and Trout has been their best performer, an all-star again. On base plus slugging of .845 this year. And on 3-2, Trout inside out's a fastball out of play.
This is an Angels offense. They don't walk much, 8th fewest walks, and they do strike out a lot. The second most strikeouts in baseball.
8-pitch for Trout. Breaking ball, also looped out of play. A lot of familiar faces here for the Angels, including their hitting instructor, Brady Anderson, first-year hitting coach, who got a nice welcome back message and reception from before the game. Trout goes down swinging a 3-2 curveball for Cade Povich, collects his first strikeout.
Well, we mentioned it earlier. In the sample size, there was only 4 appearances and 3 starts for Cade Povich, but the curveball was outstanding. Again, opponents came in hitting .091 on this pitch, and that's a really good backdoor breaking ball.
Our Bet365 player prop spotlight. Bet365, where winning is everything, -130 for 5 or more strikeouts for Cade Povich. There's number 1 as he misses wide to Nolan Shawnuel. It's just such an odd evening in so many ways, including Cade Povich hasn't been in the big leagues in 3 months, comes to a completely new team, and is being caught by a guy in Carlos Narvaez, who has been an Oriole for just over 24 hours, got here this morning. So I would imagine, Ben, you have to take the fast track chemistry approach.
Well, Narvaez, he's going to be in the 8 ball with all the Oriole pitchers, obviously, so he's going to have to kind of hit the ground running.
And the Orioles think he can do that. It was important for them to get him back in the Adley Rutschman deal. Jake Rogers, who had just joined the team on Friday, was sent to Boston, providing the Red Sox depth, while Adley Rutschman rehabs from an inflamed left wrist. It's a high strike to Shawnuel, as called by Dan Merzel, the home plate umpire, and unchallenged by the 24-year-old Shawnuel. 4th-year big leaguer, 4th-year professional.
Yeah, he was a fast mover, and the Angels are known for moving them fast up to the big league level. Shawnuel's got to be saying, well, exactly how big is the strike zone tonight?
Well, that last one was in there, Shawnuel.
But it had to feel like it was low after he called the one above the strike zone for a strike.
3-2 for Shawnuel. Von Grissom is on deck. Here's the payoff. Lined into right center field. Colt Cowser spreading out toward the alley will pull up. This ball hits off the wall. It's a double for Shawnuel, his 20th, second most of any Angel. And he is the game's first base runner with 2 outs in the first.
Sean Wells always been a really good hitter. Bat-to-ball skills. Two-seam fastball kind of working into the outer part of the plate. It really got to the outer third. He just puts a barrel on it. Colton Cowser's thinking about laying it out right here, but pulls up at the right time to get it and quickly get it in, but a 2-out double.
Vaughn Grissom having a really nice stretch. Takes a bender for strike 1. Grissom just 25 years old. His first year with the Angels, 261. The OPS a little bit above league average. And from July 9th on, he's sitting 329. And he could not hold up the changeup there. A pitch that Cade is not locating down at this point, but still gets a swing and a miss on.
Somebody's still throwing that kick change.
His 0-2. Swung on and missed a nice curveball. Cade Povich strikes out 2 in a scoreless first. Here's the Orioles starting lineup today, not including Taylor Ward, who had been a mainstay of the top 4, traded to Seattle today. So Christian Encarnacion Strand moves into the cleanup spot. The big league debut of Christian Franklin 7th, the Oriole debut of Carlos Narvaez 9th, and an old friend on the mound, Angel starter Grayson Rodriguez.
Grayson Rodriguez been nicked up a couple times. 2 stints on the IL. First one happened on March 23rd, right shoulder problem. It's been about 3 months on the IL, was activated and went back on the IL with a little bit of a back issue, but he is healthy now, making his 11th start of the season. 3-3, ERA approaching 8 from the big right-hander from Texas.
Yeah, it has been a shocking year for Rodriguez. Obviously, the Orioles had real health concerns. He missed all of last season. He did not throw a pitch for the Orioles over the final year plus of his Oriole career. You could never have expected this, that Rodriguez would be healthy enough to pitch and have a 7.98 ERA in 10 starts. Traded, of course, for Taylor Ward in the offseason. A rare 1-for-1 big leaguer swap with the Angels. And isn't it strange that Grayson Rodriguez, who was hurt when the Orioles went to Anaheim, faces his old team for the first time the day after Taylor Ward gets traded away. 2-2 for Dylan Beavers.
Still a very live arm, though, for Grayson Rodriguez. Now, when he's healthy, he can do that. He can challenge you right at the top of the zone. You see that one at 98. It's a buzz ball up there. When he gets ahead, that's where he's going to attack you, right towards the top of the zone. You can't throw one any better than that. That's it right by Dylan Beavers. And we'll take a look at Grayson Rodriguez's pitch arsenal. 4-seam fastball only. There's no 2-seamers, and there's a changeup, curveball, and slider. Look, they hit it really hard off the fastball at 343. The changeup's been his best pitch, hitting 206 off of that. But don't forget, Grayson Rodriguez is a big guy too, KB, and he's got some extension too. 7 feet 2 inches of extension towards home plate. So 98 is hopping on up a little bit better than that when he gets out there.
That's the changeup, which was always his best pitch as an Oriole, and it's 0-2. From Rodriguez to Alonso. Mike Maddox, the Angel pitching coach, looking on. Pete leading the team in hits, doubles, homers, RBIs, average, slugging, and OPS. Played every game. And he'll take a changeup in the dirt. Rodriguez's last Oriole outing, July 31st, 2024. And here he is back at Camden Yards for the first time in more than 2 years. And he struck out the first 2 hitters on 98-mile-per-hour fastballs up near the belt. Our Maryland Lottery Fast Play contestant of the game, John New from Elk Ridge, has won $500 for being selected and will win $500 more for every Orioles home run, $5,000 for each Joe's Grand Slam. Hit tonight. Learn how to be the Fast Play contestant of the game at mdlottery.com/home-run. So Rodriguez faces his first former teammate, Gunnar Henderson, and Gunnar breaks his bat at 99 and lines out to second. Scheduled to have Mike Elias join us when we come back for the second. No score after one between the Angels and Orioles. Kevin Brown, Ben McDonald back with you, and Orioles President of Baseball Operations Mike Elias with us here in the booth the day after the trade deadline. Mike, as we talked about earlier, a very emotional day for Orioles fans. I know a very difficult day for you as well, as you sent 3 big league players out, made a number of trades. Let's start with the Adley Rutschman deal, which is on folks' minds. Why was this the decision for you in the moment to trade Adley Rutschman to the Red Sox?
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. I mean, there's no one that was more emotionally affected than me by trading Adley. He's a very important player to this team, but to me personally, being the #1 pick when we first came in our first year, when we were rebuilding the franchise, and I have a long, close relationship with Adley. And the fact that we're trading him, and also that we were trading a lot of other players off of the team yesterday, it's not a great thing in terms of where we wanted to be this year. I would have hoped to have a more active buying trade deadline at this point in time. But, we're in a position where our record is below 500. And the fact that we don't like how we got to that spot, I still have to look at the spot that we're in calmly, rationally, and assess what's the right move at that point in time. And to us, it was to see what value is out there for a lot of the players that we have that were nearing the end of their term with the team. And, we made trades where we felt that the return, the talent that we were getting back, was worth it to execute the trade. And that was our criteria for making those trades. We got a lot back, a lot of pitching talent, a lot of talent throughout the minor leagues. Some of the players that are up here playing in the game tonight, guys that have a long future with us, and we hope that it works out well.
Yeah, and the point to make, too, is it wasn't a complete sell-off either, right? I mean, Trevor Rogers is still here. Kittredge is still here as well. So you feel like this team can still, and I think they do, too, feel like they can still make a run at this in a 50-game sprint here.
That's going to be our goal. We're going to pull together and push forward and give every resource and amount of support that we can the rest of the stretch run here to make it into the playoffs, make it into a wild card spot the rest of the way. We have a really good shot. But the trade deadline is a deadline. It's your last chance to make some decisions, and at that point in time, we decided to execute those trades. I think we'll be better off for it in the future, but also in the near term. And we do have a really good team on our hands.
And right, there's a base hit for Moises Ballesteros after Denzer Guzman had struck out.
A really good team on our hands that can make a strong push here down the stretch.
You mentioned on Friday, Mike, and I know you talked about this a little bit yesterday, that you didn't think the team would be necessarily all the way into the buyers or the sellers bucket, given the position in the standings, given the up and down nature of the year, but the American League. Obviously, you were much further into the seller bucket. What materially changed between Friday and then the deadline last night?
Well, #1, we lost 2 out of 3 against Philly, which was a negative impact. We lost some standings over the weekend. But ultimately, it was about going out into the market and seeing what the actual trades were, case-by-case basis, what the returns would be, what the exchange and the prices would be. And we made trades that made sense to us from a value standpoint in and of themselves. There were a lot of other trades that we did not make because we didn't like the price tag or we didn't like the return. As you said, we didn't dismantle the team. I still think we have a really good team in place. We've got players that are poised to come up and help here in the second half. But at that point in time, we made several trades, and many of them were on the sell label, as you said.
And you got to be pretty excited about what you got back, too. I mean, you talk about Ianson, one of the top pitching prospects in baseball. Witherspoon, another guy that most people project to be in a big league rotation as well. So you got some real dudes back for sure.
Yeah, if we're going to do something like that, we want to make sure it's worthwhile. The prospects that we got in the Rutschman trade in particular, highly impactful pitching prospects, as you mentioned. Anthony Ianson's one of the hottest pitching prospects in baseball, and a top 30, top 40 prospect in the sport right now. He's in Double-A. He's had a sensational first year in pro ball since coming out of LSU in the 3rd round. And then Kyson Witherspoon, who was a first-round pick out of Oklahoma in the very same drafts, off to a strong start, too. So a lot of impact for us. As I said, these trades are going to be worth it. Wouldn't have done them otherwise. and we're now in a position where our pitching pipeline is as strong as it's ever been, and really projects to be a big strength going forward. So I want to reiterate, we don't like that we were in this position.
Sure.
And we are not rebuilding the team. We have a very strong competitive team out on the field right now with a ton of talent at the big league level and a very full minor league system again. So we're ready to jump back in the fight. But that's that's what happened the other day, and we move forward.
Jose Siri
nice
eaten
play
up by Henderson at short, and that is a 6-4-3 double play. Mike, we appreciate it. Again, I know a very difficult day for you in this front office, but thank you for coming up with us, and thank you for spending some time in the booth with us.
Try to get some rest. I know you ain't been sleeping much lately for sure.
Thanks for having me on.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike. Mike Elias, Oriole President of Baseball and Operations, here in the second. Plus on iOS and Android mobile devices, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku. Massive Plus monthly subscriptions available for only $19.99 per month. Go to MASNsports.com or scan the QR code to get yours today. Okay, Povich got a 6-4-3 double play off the bat of Jose Siri. Nicely picked by Gunnar Henderson to end the top of the second. And the Orioles will look for their first base runner against Grayson Rodriguez, as Christian Encarnacion Strand lines a fastball foul. Ben, what do you make of the conversations we had with Mike Elias there, and then what you've heard from Mike over the last 24 hours?
I mean, I think it's fair. I mean, I think if the Orioles win the Phillies series, maybe it looks a little bit different. Look, the way I look at this, if you go back to February, I think Mike Elias constructed a team back in February that most people, including me and you and everybody else, felt like was going to be a playoff team. Were there some question marks? Yes. We always question the defense, and Mike Elias has addressed that and said, hey, that's on me. Maybe he could have constructed it a little bit better from a defensive standpoint, but I think looking back on it and listening to everything everybody said back in February and March leading in, this offense is going to be a top 5 offense in baseball. It's going to be one of the best home run hitting teams in baseball. We thought the pitching would probably be average to slightly above average, but it hasn't worked out like that. And it's been some injuries, and quite frankly, some players not performing up to their capabilities has put Mike Elias in a very tough situation. And I think that's honesty. And Mike's always said, I'm going to do what's best for this organization, and he felt like moving Adley Rutschman when he did, because he got his doors blown off by an offer that I think everybody across Major League Baseball agrees with was an offer too good to turn down for Adley Rutschman. And so that's where we are. And it's good to see the players. I saw some of the interviews, and the players are on record saying that this is on us. We did not perform like we were capable of performing, and that's why we are where we are right now. And that's kind of the bottom line. And I've been in that clubhouse before. I've seen players get traded because we didn't perform well, and you accept those responsibilities as a player for sure. I mean, and this is the kind of the ugly part of the game. I think we're all sad in some ways. I know I am. I'm sad about Rutschman. I'm sad about Tyler Wells. I'm sad about Dean Kramer. But this is the reality of big boy baseball, and this is big boy baseball in a time. And I get the fan base being upset about this, but the truth is the players have a responsibility in this as well, and they just haven't performed like they wanted to perform. It wasn't for lack of effort. I mean, you can lean on some injuries. I mean, you lose Jackson Holliday early, obviously Dean Kramer. You miss him for a while. This ball going to come back?
It will be off the netting. 1-2 on the aforementioned.
Eflin going down early, Westberg going. I mean, the injuries again this year, played a big part in that. And quite frankly, some players just not performing at the level they were capable of playing. So, while I don't like it, I get it, I guess is the best way to say it.
One and two on Jackson here. Encarnacion Strand grounded out to third, and Holliday will pop this up on the left side for Zach Neto. We heard today from Pete Alonso, unsurprisingly, who always seems to step up and be a vocal leader in these moments. We heard from Colton Cowser, Jackson Holliday, among others. Colton was pretty emotional, as you can understand. A lot of emotions in that Oriole clubhouse, some emotions among some of these Oriole coaches as well. Kobe Mayo into shallow left. Zach Neto, who just caught the last pop-up, will retrieve this. It's another 1-2-3 inning for Grayson Rodriguez here in Baltimore. Today's military salute is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union and by Thundercat Technologies. Wishing a happy birthday to the United States Coast Guard. We thank the Coast Guard and all past and current members for protecting and defending our country. On to the third inning here, the Angels and the Orioles in a scoreless tie. Wade Meckler, the number 9 hitter, leads off against Cade Povich. And Meckler swings at the first pitch, grounds it under the glove of Gunnar Henderson into left field for a base hit. So the Angels 4 for 9 to start the game against Povich. They get their first leadoff man on in the game. Well, Cade Povich working today with a new batter mate for every Oriole pitcher, Carlos Narvaez. For more on that, let's go to Melanie Newman.
Yeah, guys, I talked to him earlier today, and he said it's actually kind of a break for him to stay in the AL East. He said, look, I've faced a lot of these pitchers. I'm kind of glad to not face them anymore, but I do have a start of an idea of what they bring to the table. Now, he also knows what the Angels have because he brought his binder with them, and he hadn't gotten rid of his notes because they were just on the West Coast. So he had a good foundation for today's game overall. And guys, I took a look at this book. It is so wildly impressive. It's a big 3-inch, 3-ring binder filled with stuff front to back. He said he learned it from Jose Trevino when he was first coming up with the Yankees system, and he is obsessed. He loves nerding out over the numbers. He said, that's my favorite part. It's why I love being a catcher, is this mental prep work.
Well, his reputation, Mel, for his defensive work, very, very strong. That's what the Orioles hope they'll get. Zach Neto buries the ball in the left, and the Angels are 2 for 2 against Povich here in the third inning. Well, he and his catcher left to get on the same page quickly here with Mike Trout coming up.
Looked like that kick change, and boy, that one's elevated. And Zach Neto just kind of goes up top shelf and circles it right into the hole. So first and second, nobody out. It was a big ground ball double play that got Cade Povich out of the second inning.
There's Trout, who struck out swinging. The Orioles felt it was important when they traded Adley Rutschman to the Boston Red Sox to get another catcher back. And Narvaez really had fallen out of favor in Boston this year. Really struggled offensively, hitting just 187, 535 OPS. A year ago, it was an almost exactly league average hitter, 15 homers, 27 doubles, and his blocking and framing skills are excellent. Now, the hope is Samuel Basallo's back relatively soon. He is starting a throwing and hitting progression shortly. Still a couple of weeks away. But the Orioles feel like they could be comfortable with a Basallo-Narvaez combination, and Carlos Narvaez is under contract through the end of 2029. Well, he'll be around for a while if he performs, actually through the end of 2030.
I'll tell you what, and I like what I'm seeing from him behind home plate. Look at the target, KB. This is something different. He never drops the target. So I'm watching him. The target's there, it stays there, and he keeps it there. And I like that. So this is something different. Typically we see a lot of catchers across Major League Baseball give the target, they drop it to the ground, and they work it from back up. But he is showing you the target, and for the most part, he's keeping it there a long time.
You just saw Joe Singley, the Oriole catching coach. Poor Joe, man. He's been thrown into the fire in his first year with the Orioles. Remember last season when the Orioles tied a franchise record with 7 catchers, and we thought, let's hope we never see that again. Yeah, Carlos Narvaez is the 7th catcher of this season. So the Orioles have already tied last year's franchise record. And Joe, very close with Adley Rutschman, was a really big part of Adley's development this year. Heartbreaking day for him and a lot of other folks. But Joe Singley's been able to be malleable and work with all these new catchers extremely well.
Joe Singley is so good at what he does. He really is. Got a chance to watch him down in spring training kind of work with the catchers, man, and it's 2026 catching is what it is.
Well, the Orioles tied for the most catchers used in the majors this season now with Atlanta. 1-2 for Shawnuel, who doubled to right center. Runners are Meckler and Neto. And Shawnuel hits a ground ball to second. Jackson Holliday taken wide to his left. The prudent play is the play he makes at first. It advances the runners, but it's out number 2.
Be big, obviously, here for Kate Povich here. Had first and second, nobody out. He got a big strikeout of Mike Trout, and then a ground ball out over to Jackson Holliday. So second and third and 2 out now.
Angels today with runners on base. Well, they've had opportunities in every inning. They are 2 for 6, but one of those is a double play. And a first pitch changeup floats in there for a strike to Grissom.
And they've not been great this year, runners in scoring position. 26th out of 30 teams. Now it gets better in these situations. 2 out runners in scoring position. They're 11th in baseball.
Povich's 50th pitch of the evening coming. 2 on, 2 out in the third, and 2 strikes now. That high fastball's been effective.
Yeah, and even though it's not typical big league velocity, 91, 92, Kay Povich hides the ball really well. But his best out pitch, and that's why he throws that fastball up a lot, it sets up that breaking ball here. And you may get that breaking ball in the dirt right here, try to get a swing and a miss.
Fastball again. Maybe to set up the breaking ball.
You would think so. Elevated fastball, then up and in to speed the bat up a little bit. Because it looks like to me he's trusting his breaking ball more so than that changeup right now.
He does trust the breaking ball, and Povich strands a pair of Angels in scoring position. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. There's been a lot of noise the last couple of days, but there's some noise right now, and that noise is an ovation from the Camden Yards crowd for the Major League debut of 26-year-old Christian Franklin from Overland Park, Kansas, in the Kansas City area. He joined the club yesterday, traded from the Washington Nationals for a minor league pitcher, Joe Glassy, and Franklin, who was in the Nationals AAA organization, Rochester Red Wings, making his big league debut.
Yeah,
and the first pitch he takes is high and in.
Former 4th round pick by the Cubs back in 2021. Christian Franklin out of the University of Arkansas.
431 minor league games over 5 years. 1,870 plate appearances, hit .260 in the minors, .389 on base, .396 slug. That's a .785 on base plus slugging, and he's got a 2-0 count against Grayson Rodriguez as he takes wide for ball 3.
And they say he can run a little bit too. I mean, 17 stolen bases this year in AAA. AAA this year hitting .249 with 6 long balls, 17 stolen bases.
And a .375 on base, a great skill. And he's going to get on base or not, maybe. Well, ball 2 was probably a strike, so we'll call it even from Dan Merzel behind the plate. Franklin, a teammate of Heston Kjerstad's with Arkansas, Cubs, Nationals, Orioles. His 3rd franchise, his first appearance in the big leagues. And Christian will take a walk. That's a 1,000 career on base percentage as Franklin sees ball 4. And his first major league plate appearance will end at first base.
Yeah, they say he got kind of covered up in the national organization. Obviously at the big league level, a lot of their outfielders, right-handed hitting outfielders. So really didn't get an opportunity, but he's going to get one here with the Orioles.
Well, we'll see if he can go from his first big league walk to his first big league run. He takes a big lead And Mel, this is a special day for Christian Franklin.
I mean, could you believe it? He said it was 2 different phone calls, guys. One from Paul Taboni that he was being traded. 2 from Yves Rosenbaum later that, by the way, you're also going to make your big league debut. Now, he said he got lucky because AAA Rochester had just gotten into Scranton, so they weren't horrifically far away. Of course, Mondays are off days in the minors. He said, I found a car service. He got in about 11 o'clock last night, and I got good sleep. And I looked at him, he said, well, good enough sleep. You can't sleep bad when you're at a really nice hotel in Baltimore, though. He's just thrilled to be here today, but it's not his first time here. He was at the exhibition game that the Nationals played against the Orioles before the season started this year.
Well, it's such a cool story that maybe got overshadowed. Not maybe. It definitely got overshadowed by everything that happened the last couple of days, but folks around the Orioles are really intrigued by Christian Franklin and his skill set. Colton Cowser fouls away 97, still 1-2. Taylor Ward is gone. He's in Seattle. And it sounds like Christian Franklin may get a little bit of run here over the next couple of months because he can play every outfield position. He can steal bases. He can get on. And the Orioles think his skill set will translate well to the big leagues. 1-2. And Colton will take a changeup in the dirt for ball 2.
You know, and Grayson's always done a pretty good job of holding runners. Even though he's a big guy, 6'5", if you'll watch him, it's a little bit of a slide step. He doesn't have that big high leg kick. So he's a tough guy to steal off of.
Maybe part of this is the ERA's near 8. Guys are hitting him well, but he has not allowed a steal all year. 0 for 1 in stolen base attempts against Rodriguez. Franklin's got a good sized lead, though. Cowser up the middle and through for a base hit, and look at Franklin go. Darting around the bag at second, he's easily into third.
That was good. That was good all the way around right there. Happy for Colton Cowser. He got a changeup. He stayed on it and stayed right through it. Exit below 98 off the bat. Love how Cowser just kind of sunk into his legs right here and hit it right back from whence it came. Watch him just tell it going forward. He just kind of sinks down. Top hand comes off the bat where he can stay through it. And watch Christian Franklin easily goes first to third, running right in the face of Mike Trout. So a good opportunity for the Orioles here in the third with first and third and nobody out.
Their first base runner, then their first hit, and now the Oriole debut of Carlos Narvaez. And Narvaez takes a slider for strike 1. There are the numbers with the Red Sox this season for Narvaez. Again, he came over with 3 minor leaguers and a player to be named later, Bradley Rutschman and Jake Rogers. And Narvaez is hit. A backup slider puts him on. Already the 5th batter Grayson Rodriguez has hit in 11 starts this year. So Franklin and Narvaez both reach base in their first Oriole plate appearances, and now it's a chance for a really big inning.
And I mean, Rodriguez just mowed through the first and second inning. 2 strikeouts there in the first. 6 up and 6 down, but some trouble here in the third. Leadoff walk, a single, and a hit by pitch has the bases loaded.
Trouble all year for Grayson, who is a little bit low with the first pitch to Dylan Beavers.
Well, the numbers go up drastically with runners in scoring position. The opponent's batting average off Rodriguez coming in 315. That's a hefty number. With runners in scoring position, opponents have been hitting 474 off of him.
Beavers vaults it in the air to left field. Jose Siri, big arm from shallow left, and Franklin will not test it. A wise decision. With nobody out, you don't want to run on Siri, who has a very strong arm, and now it's Pete Alonso with the bases loaded and 1 away. Our Xfinity powered connections. It's Pete Alonso's debut season in 2019. Tied for the 3rd most August home runs in the majors, behind a couple of guys named Judge and Soto. First pitch, Pete into center. That's a base hit. Franklin's in. Cowser, after a late jump, will run in the face of Trout, and he scores sliding head first. A 2-run single for a jumpy polar bear. And Pete Alonso puts the Birds on the board and on top against Grayson Rodriguez.
Really nice swing right there by the Polar Bear. Looked like a first pitch breaking ball to me. He just kind of, breaking ball just kind of stays up, and boy, look at him stick his nose on that one right back up the middle. That's a couple of base hits for the Orioles, right back from whence it came. Christian Franklin scores. Colton Cowser right behind him, head first into home plate. And the Birds strike first in this one.
And a visit to the mound for Mike Maddox. An inning that must feel all too familiar for Grayson Rodriguez this year. Not only the average with runners scoring position, you mentioned the on-base percentage. That means more than half the time with runners in scoring position an opposing batter is reaching. I mean, it's hard to fathom, Ben, a guy with this kind of stuff could be having this kind of result.
Yeah, it is hard to believe, man. But I'm going to tell you, when you're nicked up and injured all the time, and Grayson has been hurt a lot the last 2 or 3 years, there's no doubt about that. He just hadn't had consistent reps yet. But the Angels feel like it's in the tank for him. Now, obviously, with the situations they are in, worst record in baseball, they'll get an opportunity.
Wow, that ball was blistered at short by Gunnar Henderson. He's going to beat the throw from Grissom. After a great pick by Zach Neto saved a run. That was 105 off of Henderson's bat. Narvaez to third. Alonso's out at second.
I know Neto has struggled on defense a little bit this year, but that was an outstanding play. Gunner's upset because you can't hit one any harder. That 105 off the bat and a really nice play by Neto. Defense a little bit out of position right there because Grissom, the second baseman, was swung well over. You can see Neto had to kind of lead him over the bag. And the way Gunnar Henderson's run, they weren't going to turn two on that one.
Sit out for Christian Encarnacion Strand. Orioles put the last 3 pitches in play. And CES will take ball 1.
And if you look at Grayson Rodriguez's struggles this year, all you got to do is go to the walks. And talking to some of the Angels, talking to Mark Gubasol earlier, he said he just pitched behind in the count a little bit too much. You know, 21 walks and 44 innings coming in. And I don't care who you are, man. At this level, if you're going to pitch constantly behind the count, it is hard to have success.
Encarnacion Strand drills it to left, and a leaping catch by Siri ends the inning. Some sparkling defense by the Angels. This could have been a much bigger inning, but the O's will take 2.
Yeah, the Polar Bear doing his thing, folks. Bases loaded. He gets a breaking ball right back up the middle, pushes across 2. Birds up 2-0 after 3.
Fourth inning of Orioles baseball is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Shop Toyota for legendary style and reliability. And check out the all-new RAV4 at Toyota.com. Beautiful night here in Baltimore. The Orioles out early with a 2-0 lead on the Pete Alonso 2-run single. The first game since the trade deadline with Carlos Narvaez, the new Orioles catcher. Got a word off to Seattle. Tyler Wells to Tampa Bay. And of course the big one, it's still awfully weird to say, and the pictures have been weird to see. Adley Rutschman off to the Boston Red Sox for the remainder of this year and next year. Narvaez, 3 minor leaguers, Anthony Ianson, Kyson Witherspoon, Andy Azokar, and a player to be named later for Rutschman and Jake Rogers. That was the signature move yesterday. The Red Sox have been the hottest team in baseball, firmly signaling their intentions to go for it at 60-51 in the second wild card spot. Povich upstairs to Denzer Guzman 2-2. And the Orioles, who are 2.5 out of the third wild card spot at 54-58. Much more of a seller's mindset. And again, we had Michael Eliasani said these were just cases where he liked the deals, he liked the talent that was coming back to Baltimore in the trades, was not necessarily looking to trade Adley Rutschman or these players, but felt the asking price was matched. And I think for folks today, there are, and you've hit on this, Ben, there are some real conflicting feelings about how we got here. And being a sports fan sometimes is about the intersection between logic and emotion. And if you're in the front office, you think a little differently about that. And logically, and you talked about this is a trade that you can comprehend, you can understand just from a baseball perspective. You could say it's a catcher who's at a position where you have a catcher locked up for the next 8 years in Samuel Basallo, as that ball's foul from Ballesteros. Been on the IL 5 times in the last 2 years, is on the IL right now. By every account, the Orioles get this enormous group of talent, which some people think is maybe just as good as the package the Tigers got for Tarek Skubal, who's won back-to-back Cy Youngs.
I think a lot of people think it's as good or maybe even better. That's close.
That's a pickoff right there. Kate Povich gets Guzman leaning at first base. So very nice move by Povich after he had walked Guzman.
Man, Kate Povich has always had a slow heartbeat. Watch this move here. Kind of looking home, picks the leg up and over to the polar bear. He even picked a polar bear off, it looked like, too. Pete was getting ready to jump out there and get in the defensive position that he wanted to get in and had to kind of backtrack, and there's your tag just in time. Well done.
And now strike 2 to Ballesteros. That of course isn't it. I mean, that isn't all it. There's a really emotional side to this. And if you feel sad today because Adley Rutschman is gone, feel sad.
I think we all do in some ways. I think we're sad. I mean, all those guys were here for a lot of years. I mean, you talk about Dean Kramer came through the rebuild. Tyler Wells came through this rebuild. Obviously, Rutschman did too. So you get attached, and it's a good thing to get attached to your players. I mean, so it's like you said, I know I'm emotional about it. Yeah. For sure. I think we all are.
It's an upsetting day. It's a frustrating day. It's frustrating because when Adley Rutschman was drafted in 2019 as the #1 overall pick, the first big move, the centerpiece move of this new front office, he was supposed to be the guy that was going to lead this franchise out of maybe the darkest period in its history. That's an unfair burden, but that's what Adley Rutschman had to carry. And he led them out to this incredible run in 2022, to the AL East title in 23, to the playoffs in 2024. He led them out with class, with grace, with a good spirit. You know, there were a couple of years here where, let's be honest, we were getting through some of these games and some of these days, not with what was happening on the field, but with daily updates on what Adley Rutschman was doing in the minors.
100%. There was a time that we focused on the minor leagues, you know, instead of what was going on at the big league level, looking forward to the future. And the future certainly got bright there for a while.
And like, if people are upset today and feel heartbroken and hurt, you can feel heartbroken and hurt. And however long you feel that, that is your call, and there is no playbook for this. There is no playbook on how to be a sports fan as emotional as you can be. If you're not malicious toward people, be emotional. If you are rational, if you are irrational, if this hurts you, it should hurt. The Orioles under Adley Rutschman had great moments. They did not do what they wanted to do. They did not get there, and Mike Elias has admitted that. This did not go according to plan.
The bottom line at the end of the day is, do you win ball games or not? And if you win, it takes care of everything. And if you lose and you underperform, that's when things like this begin to happen. And that's just the reality. If you put your GM cap on, I mean, I think if you take the emotion out of it, and look, Mike Elias, you could tell sitting right here between me and you, was very emotional. And you could tell it hurt him in a lot of ways to make that trade. It hurt his front office in a lot of ways to make this trade. But if you're doing what's best for this organization and this team going forward, it was probably, in my opinion, the right move.
2-2
Well, I'll tell you what,
in there for strike 3.
Slim Shady, folks. Now he's doing his thing right now. Elevated fastball is a good breaking ball. And how about a little paint piece to get off the field?
Friday, August 21st, our I Love the 90s post-game concert. After the Orioles-Rays game, a live performance from Vanilla Ice, Tone Loc Tag Team, and Tretch, Naughty by Nature. Enjoy the show from your seat or upgrade to a field pass. To get closer to the stage, go to Orioles.com/tickets. Well, Kate Povich is pitching very well. He has struck out 7, only walked 1. And after the Orioles were perfected by 2 innings against Grayson Rodriguez, some hard contact, couple of runs, 4 base runners in the 3rd. They lead 2-0. Kevin Brown, Ben McDonald, Melanie Newman, our wonderful Masson crew, as the Osen Jackson, Holiday, Kobe Mayo, and Christian Franklin to the plate against Grayson. Holiday popped out his first time and takes down an in here.
Young Jackson Holiday had an outstanding series up in Detroit. 8 for 11 with 3 RBIs, only 1 for 9 against the Phillies.
In there for strike 2. The Orioles did not score in the last 2 games against the Phillies. Obviously, Sunday's was a rain-shortened game, so put a bit of an asterisk, but they snapped the 17-inning scoreless streak with that 2-run Alonso single in the 3rd.
Well, that's the key for the Orioles down the stretch of these final 50 games, is this offense has to find a way to be a little bit more consistent. You mentioned the Orioles coming into this game have been shut out in 3 of their last 5 games. Went 17 innings without scoring a run.
Holiday pops up another one to short. Second time in the game. And Neto retires Holiday. Time for our Chesapeake Employers Insurance Birdland Pride. Chesapeake Employers Insurance. We see what's important to you on this Tuesday night, which is also Pokemon Go night here at the ballpark, and that is the special giveaway. Instinct, Mystic, and Valor. And I am old enough to have played the original Pokemon games. I could not tell you what Instinct, Mystic, or Valor mean, but cool shirts.
Well, if you can't, nobody in this booth can.
Yeah. I know, this is the rare pop culture thing where you and I are sort of in alignment. Kobe Mayo slams one foul down the left side.
How fast are those hands, huh?
It stands to reason, Ben, Kobe Mayo should get a lot more playing time with Taylor Ward gone.
Yeah.
Probably, we'd seen Ward start to DH more at home, a lot more DH spots available. So an opportunity that Kobe will take. This guy, by the way, is having the day of his life.
Oh.
Where did that ball end up? Oh, man, it ended up all over.
That's the new splash zone over there.
That's an unfortunate looking bird bath. Oh, wow.
That's what's left anyway.
Yeah.
Of that fence post.
Yeah, no, that's the splash zone. Well, quite the finish. 2-2 for Kobe, who also popped out to short. That's a good take.
Really good take. Good pitch and a good take.
Kobe's big league debut came 2 days after Grayson Rodriguez's last starts. They're technically teammates, but Kobe never played in the same game as Grayson. 3-2 coming. That's a much sharper breaking ball, and the 3rd strikeout for Rodriguez. His first sets the first 2 batters.
Really good 3-2 slider here. That was the hard one of the 2.
Christian Franklin a walk. And the Orioles felt like they spotted a player who was just a little blocked in an organization that had a redundancy. Right-handed hitting outfielders, the Nationals. Jacob Young, elite center fielder in the big leagues, Dylan Cruz as well. And the Nats get Joe Glassy, who was having a very nice year at Double-A as a pitcher. Christian Franklin's 735 OPS with Triple-A Rochester. Talking to some Oriole folks, they felt like the expected numbers were a lot better in Triple-A this year. The career numbers are better, and this is a guy, Ben, with a good all-fields approach.
Yeah, I like to see those lines right there. Using the backside of the field a lot. There's a shot to the backside of the field. Can't keep it fair, though.
Do you remember him on those Arkansas teams?
I do. Now, he wasn't one of what I would call their superstars, but he was a big part of the success, especially his junior year. I think he hit 14 home runs his junior year. Remember him being very fast, stealing a lot of bases, and a really good defender in the outfield.
Again, 274, but a huge on base, 420 at Arkansas. Franklin bouncing ball to short. Neto to first. And Christian Franklin is 0 for 1 with that walk. A 1-2-3 fourth for Grayson Rodriguez. The Ultimate Girls Trip comes to Camden Yards Wednesday, August 19th on Bravo night. The Orioles host the Yankees. Get a special ticket package for game ticket and an exclusive Orioles-themed Bravo cap. Go to Orioles.com/ticket packages. Wow. Since you were pitching, first O's game since 1992. Wow. So she hadn't seen Camden Yards in a long, long time. All right, you know who we got here?
No.
What Pokemon do you think these are?
Sunshine?
Yep, yeah, you nailed it. Sunshine. No, there were two. Sunshine and
Tiger?
Sunshine and Tiger. I shouldn't have doubted you. Exactly right.
How'd I do?
Yeah, you were 2 for 2.
All
Sunshine
right.
and Tiger. Checking out the Orioles game. Jose Siri batting. What a start for Cade Povich so far.
He's been
through 4 shutout with 7 strikeouts.
He's been impressive.
He's the first pitcher, Ben, this year for the Orioles to throw 4 shutout innings with 7 strikeouts to start a game.
I love how he's elevating his fastball and he's setting up that really good breaking ball behind it. Look at the first pitch strikes. That's a good number. 12 for 17. That looked like a little changeup.
And a ground out for Jose Siri. All right, here's a little Sunshine and Tiger for you.
Let me see it.
Sunshine fastball and a little Tiger of a breaking ball.
Boy, coming out of that same slot. Look at the difference, man. Breaking ball obviously going way down. Fastball staying up. One up and sets up the other one.
Here's Wade Meckler. Ooh, right on the corner with that slider. Last 5 AAA starts, Povich's pitch count 81, 82, 80, 81, and then bumped a little up to 87. So he's been right around the same zone, and he actually had not been pitching that well in AAA. Home run in his last 6 allowed, set 6.39 ERA in the last 7 for Norfolk, but here he is in the big leagues and looking very sharp. Meckler has a ground ball single to left, and he's in a 1-2 count here.
A little two-seamer down and in. Yeah, and the sample size, only 4 appearances, 3 starts coming in, but the lefties were hitting him really, really well. 345. He was hounding the righties good. The righties only hitting 200 off of him coming in the sample size.
Chopper to third, Encarnacion Strand. Meckler runs too well. Infield single against a guy who is a very, very good runner. And Meckler's 2 for 2.
Meckler can go, can he? 2 for 2 out of that 9 hole. The CES comes to get this ball really quick. Catches it on the second hop and quickly over there, but it was not going to be in time.
So the Angels have 6 hits. Meckler's the first Angel to reach base twice.
The Angels have not run a lot this year. You look at their stolen bases, only 56 of them on the year, so that puts them in 22nd. Now, Neto will run. He's got 14 of them. He leads the way.
Meckler's 3 for 3. Neto, first pitch swinging. Very aggressive player. Cowser will make the catch. So Zach Neto 1 for 3. Time for our Nissan pitch cast. Kate Povich has faced Mike Trout twice. Struck him out both times.
Yeah, let's see how he struck him out, too. Really good breaking ball the first time. After showing him he could throw it for a strike. Then the second time just kind of elevates a four-seam fastball right at the top of the zone. So kind of working him north and south.
And he almost had another pickoff. Meckler caught leading. The Orioles are going to take a look. They'll challenge.
Wow.
This would be something.
And Meckler's not going anywhere. I'm telling you, this is just an outstanding pickoff move, and he may be out right there.
Baltimore is challenging a safe call at first base. The previous play is under review.
You can see the look on Pete Alonso's face. He thought he had him.
That's our Hyundai Manager's Challenge, the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
I think he's going to be out.
So right, it almost feels wrong. Only your local Hyundai dealer. The Orioles have just seen an angle. The whole team is heading off the field, and maybe if you freeze it a frame before that.
Call on the field is overturned. The runner is out. Baltimore retains the challenge.
2 pickoffs for Kate Povich tonight. Today's Military Salute is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union and by Thundercat Technologies. Once again, wishing a happy birthday to the United States Coast Guard. August 4th, 1790, 236 years ago. We thank all members of the Coast Guard and United States military for their protection and defense of our country. Well, Kate Povich has 7 strikeouts and 2 pickoffs. He is not allowed to run through 5 as Grayson Rodriguez dumps in a breaking ball to Colton Cowser. How about Colton, by the way, going out to dig out a 2-strike change up for a hit, something we don't see him do often, but there must be some real mind games here. Grayson Rodriguez pitched in front of Colton Cowser a lot. He knows what Colton does. Colton knows Grayson's best pitch is his changeup, and it turns out that of the 2 Texans who were Oriole teammates, Colton got the better of him the first time. So now you think it's coming again?
It may come, but I don't know if he's going to try to throw it for a strike. The game within the game here.
I think the heater in at 97. The velo's good tonight. Grayson Rodriguez just 25.5% chase rate. That means batters swing only about a quarter of the pitches outside the zone. That's in the 2nd percentile in the league, bottom 2. The last time he pitched, 2024, that number was a lot higher, 31%. That was in the top quarter of the league or thereabouts.
Well, I'll take you back to 2024 with the Orioles. 13-4 with a 3.86 ERA was Grayson Rodriguez. 116 2/3, 130 strikeouts. And then the injury set in.
Cowser fly ball to center. Got an elevated fastball, and Trout's there. Birdland Christian Faith Night has been rescheduled to Thursday, August 20th, when the Orioles host the Yankees. Join us postgame for live performance by Sorensen, plus guest speakers and testimonials. Go to Orioles.com/ticket packages. Grayson's 2025 season a lost season as he gets a ground ball to third from Carlos Narvaez. Narvaez hit by a pitch and now grounded out. I mean, it was a year where we thought Grayson might be the opening day starter. He was sluggish in spring training. He had his velocity drop. Then he had tricep soreness. Then it was elbow discomfort on the IL. Got a cortisone shot. Triceps tendonitis was the word at the end of March. Had a bullpen canceled in April because of shoulder soreness. Then dealt with a lat strain. We didn't hear a lot from Grayson last year. He spoke to the media in June. He said he wanted to prevent future lat injuries. He changed his arm angle. And then he had more elbow discomfort mid-July. Never threw a pitch last year. Just one issue after another, Ben, and it just seemed to compound. And finally this offseason, the Orioles not waiting around for Rodriguez to get healthy anymore. Flip him to Anaheim for Taylor Ward.
Yeah, he started having those lat issues, and the Orioles decided to kind of move his arm slot and change his arm stroke a little bit to try to prevent that.
Never had that major surgery last year. Just stop, start season. Outside the Beavers, it's 2-2. It's hard to watch because we enjoyed having Grayson Rodriguez here. It was such a thrill to see him debut. Struggled early in his career, but then the second half of 2023, he was awesome. He pitched Game 2 of the division series that year. He looked like a big part of the future and just could not stay healthy. Another player who was supposed to be there for the Oriole resurgence and was there during a lot of the good parts of 2023 and 2024.
Yeah, you're talking about a guy in the minor leagues was the #1, if not the #1, one of the top pitching prospects in baseball too. I mean, just blew through the minor leagues.
A lot of pop-ups tonight. He's been pretty good. Beavers to shallow left, and it's Guzman there to make the catch. Beavers 0 for 3, 8 straight retired in this 2-0 game. Stream Massive Plus on iOS and Android mobile devices, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku. Massive Plus monthly subscriptions available for only $19.99 per month. Go to massivesports.com or scan the QR code to get yours today. First day after the trade deadline, the Orioles only 2 hits, but they have both runs in the game. Pete Alonso singling in new Oriole Christian Franklin and Colt Kauser. Kate Povich a shutout through 5. He sails a fastball to Mike Trout. Povich added to the roster today with Narvaez, Carlos Narvaez, his battery mate, and Franklin. Tyler Wells, Adley Rutschman, Taylor Ward all off the roster in trades. We expect Alex Hoppe, who is a reliever who came over in the Ward deal with Seattle, to join the team tomorrow. So maybe this is just one start for Povich and back. We're not sure. If it's just a one-start situation, he is making quite the statement to try to get back into this rotation.
I've always liked Kate Povich. Got a slow heartbeat, competes well. And I love the way he's using his fastball on both sides of the plate right now, too. He's shoving it inside just enough to keep him honest. Got that good curveball, pretty good changeup. Elevating that four-seamer when he wants to.
He struck out Trout on a curveball and a heater. Zip to third and foul on a changeup. He also has 2 pickoffs today. The first Oriole pitcher to do that since Brian Mattis in 2010.
Got Guzman first, and then he gets Wade Meckler with a really good pickoff move.
Trout jams one into center. That's a good swing by Mike Trout. The Angels have their 7th hit of the night, 6 singles, and Trout is finally aboard. Well, it was April 8th, 2010, the last Oriole to pick off 2 base runners in one game. Brian Mattis did it at Tampa Bay. The runners he picked off, Carl Crawford and Evan Longoria. Povich will have to work around the leadoff runner for the 3rd time of the game. And he starts Nolan Shonowell with a 2-seamer away. Remember, this is a higher pitch count than 4 of Cade Povich's last 5 AAA starts. And there's nobody warming yet in the Oriole bullpen. Shawnoel to right field, hit it on a line, and Beavers is there. Hit pretty well, but it's an out. First of the inning.
Let's take a look at Cade Povich. 7 strikeouts tonight, man, and he's kind of been a north and south pitcher today. 4-seam fastballs up, that good breaking ball right behind it as those elevated fastballs kind of sets up that breaking ball.
Two strikeouts of Vaughn Grissom. Cade Povich is always working, always tweaking his repertoire. He's added and subtracted pitches the last few years. Grissom muscles a 4-seamer here to right. Plenty playable for Beavers for the second out. The breaking ball usage has changed over the years. He had a sweeper, he ditched that. The slider is a better pitch to lefties. The curveball has been really the only breaking ball he throws to righties this year. He's changed the changeup for him. He's added the 2-seamer. So in terms of the weapons, this is probably the most complete version of Cade yet. He's still only 26. And with Dean Kramer off to Minnesota, Cade Povich gets bumped up 1 spot in the rotation depth here. Rotation depth, which has certainly grown for the Orioles, but Povich is getting an opportunity before Chris Bassett returns. That may not be far off. Here's a bouncing ball to third. A retreating Encarnacion Strand goes to second, and Cade Povich, in his first big league game in 3 months, finishes off 6 shutout innings. Celebrate the Polar Bears Saturday, August 22nd, when the Orioles host the Rays. 15,000 fans get an exclusive Pete Alonso bobblehead presented by T. Rowe Price. Don't miss the action. Get your tickets now at Orioles.com/tickets. Pete took a leadership role before the game, speaking with the media after the trades of Adley Rutschman, Tyler Wells, and Taylor Ward. And he's delivered the big hit in the game, one of just 2 Oriole hits off Grayson Rodriguez, a 2-run single in the third, accounting for both of the runs today. He'll be followed by Henderson and Encarnacion Strand here in the 6th.
Well, Grayson Rodriguez trying to do something that he has not done all year, and that's collect a quality start. He's 3 outs away from doing that. KB's only averaged 4 1/3 per start in his 10 starts so far, and does not have 1 quality start. He's working on that. Now, his last time out was probably his best start of the year. His last time out versus the Astros, went 5, gave up just 2 runs, struck out 6 in 98 pitches.
Just Pete's presence is firing up the splash zone as he dribbles the ball back to Grayson. 2 outs away from not only his first quality start, his first 6-inning start. Let's go down to Mel.
Well, as you guys know, trade deadline went down on an Orioles off day, and it made for some very interesting goings-on. Talked to Gunnar Henderson earlier today. He said he, Colton Cowser, and Adley Rutschman with Ryan Mountcastle were walking in to see the new Spider-Man movie, and very dejected. Obviously, Gunnar said we never made it in to see the movie because Adley got the call right before. Now, Taylor Ward was actually coaching a youth camp up in Towson when he got the phone call. He did stay and coach the camp. Obviously, he's not going to depart in the middle of that. Trevor Rogers said the Rogers and Wells family were all hanging out together, and a heart stopper for Trevor, who thought he might be traded, and instead it was the buddy he was hanging out with who would ultimately depart. So just one of those strange days when you're out and about getting other things done. Gunnar did say that Adley went ahead and drove up to Boston on his own.
Yeah, the Orioles were obviously off. So when the trade deadline happens, you're usually at the ballpark. The Orioles were one of about half of Major League Baseball's teams to be off. Yesterday, there were 7 games on the schedule, 14 teams in action. But the O's happen to be off, and the Taylor Ward situation is just such a strange one. Brady North, Orioles assistant hitting coach, was there with him. Brady said because Taylor was coaching, he actually had to take the phone call and hand the phone to Taylor. And it certainly speaks highly of the guy Taylor Ward is, that after receiving that news, he would go ahead, he would finish the camp, finish teaching kids. A classy guy, and we hope he'll do well in Seattle. A strikeout here. Grayson Rodriguez has now retired 10 consecutive Orioles.
Still carrying that velocity too. I mean, this is just kind of a really good changeup in a perfect place too. Check out that grip. Just kind of pronates it and rolls it over and fades it down and away from Gunnar Henderson. A little bit of smile from Gunnar Henderson. Because that fastball has been 95 to 98 tonight, so you got to gear up and get going. And you add the extension in there, and it's playing better than that.
Christian Encarnacion Strand.
Yeah, I was at the movie theater yesterday going to see the movie you told me to go see. With the Odyssey. Yeah, really good movie. And walking in with my popcorn, I ran into Rutschman and Cowser and Mountcastle. They were going to see Spider-Man. Needless to say, they didn't finish the movie.
No, they did
about
not.
15 minutes later. Came across the clicker.
Yeah, it's pretty odd that you were there. The same theater, the same time.
Same theater, same time.
80th pitch tonight for Grayson. Fouled away by CES. Mel said Trevor Rogers was with Tyler Wells and company, and Trevor starting tomorrow. He said he really believed there was a good chance he might get traded. And then at 5:59, a minute before the deadline, his agent texted him, said, "You're staying." He was very happy about that. Line to left, Encarnacion Strand is retired. He said a couple of rockets, but Grayson Rodriguez threw 6 for the first time all year in a 2-0 Oriole lead. What a night, Ben. What a big league return after 3 months for Cade Povich. 6 shutout innings.
Slim Shady got it done tonight, folks. And I tell you what, he pitched really, really well. The breaking ball was his best pitch by far. We heard a lot about the changeup, but I love the way he used his fastball. He elevated it when he wanted to. He threw it to the inside part of the plate, and he got to that breaking ball. So a really good night. Second quality start of the season for Cade Povich. 6 innings, 7 hits, no runs, only walked 1 through a very high percentage of strikes. 88 pitches, 60 strikes. And now it's time for our Jiffy Lube pitching change. On a fast, easy oil change plus free top-offs and vacuuming, Jiffy does it all. Now it's time for Rico Garcia. See, that fastball is going to average 95. The really good changeup, slider, and curveball. 4-pitch mix for Garcia.
Facing 6, 7, and 8, Moises Ballesteros is the Angel DH. Folks may know Ballesteros from the Cubs. He came over yesterday in a deadline deal. Very hard-throwing right-hander Ryan Zefferjohn. We were blown away by him in Anaheim earlier in the season. He comes to the ghost of the Cubs from the Angels. Ballesteros and minor league right-hander Mason McGuire, who is the son of Mark McGuire, came to the Angels. Ballesteros has only caught 8 games this season. He's appeared in 48 games as designated hitter. 231, 6 homers with the Cubs, 688 on base percentage, and he strikes out here and a terrific spinning changeup.
That's a good one. And what I mean by that, that one not left over the heart of the plate. And that's kind of where Rico Garcia's mistakes have been as of late. He's kind of leaving that changeup out over the plate, but not this one. Starts it in the middle part of the plate. It fades down and away, picks up a big strikeout. And look how he rips that thing over and just kind of pronates it.
Pinch hitter here, Josh Lowe, batting for Travis d'Arnaud. The catcher was 1 for 2. Lowe lines it out of play. Tough season for the former Rays first rounder Lowe. With 198. Lost his place in the starting lineup. He Angels made a whole bunch of moves today. Adam Frazier came off the IL, former Oriole. Ben Joyce as well, smoke throwing right-hander. A couple of relievers, Sean Anderson, Blake Wyman, had their contracts selected. Ballesteros, who was acquired on the active roster. Jorge Soler was DFA'd. And of course, some significant trades for the Angels. It feels like, Ben, the fire sale that's maybe been 10 years in the making finally started to take place for the Angels yesterday, with Jose Soriano among a bunch of others leaving town. And this is a franchise that's been stuck not even in neutral. I mean, they just haven't been doing anything on the field, and they haven't made a lot of trades off the field. But let Shohei Ohtani go for basically nothing. So finally, with John Mozeliak, a longtime Cardinals executive, in charge now, they sold off a whole bunch of pieces. Low to right field. There's a base hit.
Yeah, obviously the Angels come in worst record in baseball. And in the history of their franchise, KB, they've never finished with the worst record in baseball. Their first year was 1961. They're in jeopardy of doing that for the first time in franchise history.
They didn't trade everybody. They hung on to Zach Neto and Reed Detmers, who were two of their big trade pieces. The big trade was Jose Soriano, starter with a 3.29 ERA. He went to Toronto, which opened some eyes.
Yeah, and that's a guy with some club control, right?
That's exactly, because the Jays are sellers, but they get Soriano for a couple of years after this. Arjun Nimala, minor league shortstop, very highly thought of player, headlined a 3-prospect deal for Soriano. And here's our old buddy Adam Frazier, pinch hitting in the 7th for Jose Siri.
Boy, you talk about some big moments in an Oriole uniform in his short time in Baltimore, Adam Frazier.
He was in that 2023 Magic Carpet Ride of a Year, Mr. Clutch. Have a game-tying double the day the Orioles clinched a playoff spot with 2 strikes, 2 outs in the 9th against Tampa Bay's Pete Fairbanks. Maybe the defining moment of that year. Jorge Mateo would score from first. The Orioles would win the game in extras on a Cedric Mullins sacrifice fly. Frazier to short. Henderson spilled it, got it, and can only get the lead out at second. 6 unassisted. Frazier aboard with 2 outs.
Gunner to the backhand side. See when the ball hits, it kind of gets into the heel of his glove just enough. But still the internal clock. Plenty of time to get the lead out over at second.
So here's Meckler, Anaheim-born right fielder. Is a tying run with 2 down. This is an Oriole bullpen that's, of course, down the man who would become their closer, Tyler Wells, having a brilliant season, traded to Tampa Bay for right-handed starter Michael Ferret. AAA pitcher who's very close. Like Elias said, I think 1 phone call away. Ferret was with the Orioles and was traded to the Rays in the Shane Baz deal. They get him back, trading Wells, who was under contract through the end of next year. So the O's bullpen will have to make do without him the rest of the season. And with 2 outs, maybe this isn't going to do it justice, but I just want to take a second as we're talking about the players who've left and say how much we love Tyler Wells.
No doubt.
Talking to Tyler Wells, love being around Tyler Wells. One of the best Rule 5 picks in Orioles history.
And told it like it was.
Yes.
That's what I liked about him. He's just honest. Standing up in front of the media, just being honest all the time. And look, Tyler Wells, whether you put him as a starter or a reliever, and he always wanted to be a starter, he did his job, and he didn't complain about it. He went out and did his job every day.
It's going to be weird, but wonderful.
The previous pitcher's called a strike. The batter has challenged.
Maybe not wonderful if you don't like the Rays, I get it, but for Tyler and Brian Baker,
The pitcher's a ball. It is ball 4. Los Angeles
both
has
have
2
some
remaining counts.
Jacksonville area ties to be in the same bullpen together again with the Rays. Brian Baker's been the arguably best closer in the American League this year. So we're really excited for Tyler to go to Tampa Bay and hopefully keep being the incredible pitcher and wonderful person he is. And he's somebody that was just one of our favorites, just full stop. A terrific guy, became a terrific reliever, a great success story. You know, remember Rule 5 pick, you got to spend the whole season on the active roster. He was 1 of 2 with the Orioles that year. Their first Rule 5 pick that year, Max Soroller. Their second Rule 5 pick, Tyler Wells. And not only did Tyler Wells stay on the roster through 21, he made it all the way to this year.
And look, when he burst on the scene out of the bullpen, he was really good too. And that's why Mike Elias and company knew that he could go back into the bullpen and be effective, and he had an outstanding year this year.
And they felt like the Orioles, this was just a trade that made sense because they think Ferret could be a really good big league starter. Wells for another year of club control, but he's going to be a big, big loss. Zach Neto's the go-ahead run here. Neto takes strike 1 from Rico Garcia after a hit and a walk. And the challenge overturned. ABS powered by T-Mobile on that ball forward to Meckler.
Yeah, and that's the good news for the Orioles. You talk about depth now, depth in the rotation. Orioles picked up 3 real depth pieces, not bullpen pieces, but depth pieces in the rotation yesterday.
Oh, 2 from Garcia, trying to get Neto. Shortstop with a team high 19 homers and a league high 155 strikeouts.
Oh, this team can strike out. And that's exactly what Rico Garcia is looking for here.
The 1-2. High fly ball in the air, deep left. Christian Franklin at the fence.
Wow.
It's a little bit deeper out there, Christian.
Better get in the weight room, Zach.
Two nothing Orioles.
Been a well-pitched
Hair on
game,
their chitty chit chit. A Zach Neto fly ball just shy of the wall and left. And you're right, Ben. It has been a really well-pitched game. Grayson Rodriguez, old friend, has retired 11 straight Orioles. Only allowed 2 hits. Orioles have gone down 1, 2, 3 in 5 of the 6 innings, and yet they have the lead.
By far his best start of the year, obviously. First quality start of the year. 6 innings of work, only the 2 hits. Just 1 walk to control has been much better than 4 strikeouts.
Working with the new catcher, Tyler Heineman. He gets his 5th strikeout.
How about
retired 12 straight?
How about 12 in a row now?
This is pretty amazing.
Yeah, the Angels got to be pretty happy about what they're seeing right now from Grayson Rodriguez. And as I mentioned earlier, kind of turned the corner his last time out. Had a really good start against the Astros. And he's backed that up with a really nice start against the Orioles.
New catcher for him here, Tyler Heineman, after Adam Frazier and Josh Lowe had pinch hit. This is the longest start for Grayson Rodriguez since July 2nd, 2024, when he went 6 1/3 shutout, 2 hits for the Orioles in a win in Seattle. The last time he'd thrown 6 innings was his final start as an Oriole, July 31st, 2024 against Toronto. 5 innings or less, 5 of his first 10 starts this year. Mayo to right field. This could be trouble. It will be trouble. Orioles first base runner since the 3rd, and Mayo is thinking 3. And the ball gets away, but is backed up by Rodriguez. So Kobe Mayo, 6 days after his first career triple, has triple number 2.
I tell you what, he was long striding coming around second base too. Second triple of the season. Hits this ball in the perfect spot. You don't see Kobe Mayo getting a lot of hits to the backside of the field. Didn't drive it, kind of an inside-out swing, and just shoves it down the right field line. And Meckler out there, this ball kind of gets hung up in that hole out there. Watch Kobe Mayo here. He knows the ball's fair about right now. He's thinking 2 for sure. But one more quick pick, and he could tell Meckler was having a little bit of trouble. Grabs another gear and long stride it around second and in head first for the triple.
So snaps a streak of 12 in a row, retired. Mike Maddox to the mound. And the Orioles a chance to add one more as Christian Franklin bats with a great opportunity for his first big league RBI. Now there's the Angel bullpen with lefty Mitch Ferris warming up.
Keep it going, keep it going. They're probably on TV.
Yeah, they are. Wow. That's grotesque. Christian Franklin. What a moment for this young man. 26-year-old from the Kansas City area. As the day goes at AAA Rochester Red Wing. Franklin on the ground is short. Neto's coming home. Mayo is out there. The Orioles will check to see just in case he got the foot in before a high tag, but he looks to be out. And the contact play does not succeed as the Orioles lose a runner at third and have a man at first with 2 down.
Infield pulled in, just an easy play for Neto. A perfect throw to the catcher Heineman, and Kobe Mayo is out at home plate.
So Kurt Suzuki, and why not, is going to roll with Grayson here to try to get through 7 for the first time in over 2 years. And a swing and a miss, changeup to Colton Cowser. You probably could not blame Grayson Rodriguez if he was a little extra fired up for this game, and it's been by far and away his sharpest start as an Angel. One of the sharpest, frankly, of his big league career. Facing the team that traded him, not facing the player for whom he was traded, because the Orioles swapped Taylor Ward yesterday to the Mariners, and Ward is in the starting lineup for Seattle tonight.
Pretty good lead.
Swing and a miss by Cowser, 1-2. Ward is batting 8th for the Mariners and DHing today. There are the Angel changes, by the way. Meckler's in left, Josh Lowe is in right, Frazier is out of the game. Tyler Heineman took his spot in the 8th spot. The 93rd pitch of the night for Grayson Rodriguez. Franklin on the run. It's a check swing grounder up the first base line, and Cowser's ball was foul. You think there was any part of Colton that wanted to just full on bear hug Shawnuel right there?
That's 2 pretty big dudes right there.
How about 10 straight first pitch strikes tonight for Grayson Rodriguez? If not for the Angels' lack of offense, what a story this would be. It is quite a story, but it's different. Down 2-0, of course, then up 3-2 or 4-2.
Yeah, the Orioles going to have a few stories in the next week or so, because Dean Kramer is expected to pitch against the Orioles when the Orioles face the Twins. And then, of course, you'll see Tyler Wells after that on the road trip.
Under one of those gorgeous Baltimore sunsets. In the dirt, Franklin has his first major league stolen base. So a day of firsts continues for the debutant Christian Franklin.
Yeah, and the speed makes a difference. Remember, he went first to third on the base hit right out in front of him. to Mike Trout, would score after that, and then takes an extra 90, picks up his first big league stolen base. Watch him go head first right in there.
So he's in scoring position. Cowser will see a 7th pitch. Orioles trying to add on in the 7th. Colton hangs in there against another changeup.
Orioles 1 for 5 tonight. Runners in scoring position. Trying to make it 2 for 6. A little bit of insurance. Orioles were only 3 for 13. Only 13 opportunities with runners in scoring position in that 3-game series against the Phillies.
Colton sees another changeup. 8 pitches deep from Rodriguez. Mitch Ferris has been warming up for a long time, though there's a righty. Narvaez on deck. A 98th pitch coming for Grayson, which will tie a season high. And it's strike 3 looking. What a performance by Grayson Rodriguez in his old stomping grounds. Orioles Baseball on Masson is brought to you by Bet365, where winning is everything. And by the Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Tune in tomorrow's extra pregame presented by Bet365. 6 o'clock, Orioles and Angels. Trevor Rogers happy to still be here after the deadline against Reed Detmers. A couple of lefties that were thought to be big trade pieces. Andrew Kittredge also still an Oriole.
Yeah, Povich goes 6 shutout. Rico Garcia 1 shutout inning, and now it's time for Andrew Kittredge making his 38th appearance of the year. 31 in the 3rd, 28 strikeouts, only 10 walks. Opponents hitting .277 off the right-hander. Kittredge.
2-3-4, Trout, Shawnoel, Grissom. There was a lot of speculation that the Orioles would move the players on expiring contracts, especially after trading Taylor Ward and Adley Rutschman, but Andrew Kittredge is still here. And this is one of the examples that Mike Elias cited. As Kittredge gets a strikeout of Trout. One away when Mike said, I did not want to dismantle the team this year. Could have traded Kittredge, wanted to solidify some of the team. They feel like they're better with Kittredge, even though he'll be a free agent, and it's a good start to this outing.
Yeah, and he's been really good lately. I know he gave up a run his last time out, but the run he gave up his last time out was the first run that Kittredge allowed since June the 20th. A span of 16 games he went without allowing a run.
Strike 1 to Shawnoel on a 2-seamer. Rico Garcia, an inning, a hit, a walk, a strikeout. Orioles allowed 8 hits but no runs through 7 innings. They're the first big league team this year to allow 8 hits through 7 innings but not surrender a run.
A couple of pickoffs will help that out. Of course, the Oriole pitching has been really good when the Angels have got themselves in the scoring position 6 different times tonight. They have not been able to come through, not even once.
Shawnoel's struck the ball pretty well. Double ground out line out. Great contact hitter. And he lines this ball to right field for another hit. Bangs off the wall in the corner, and it's a double night for Shawnoel.
Shawnoel can hit, man. Not a ton of power for him, but the bat-to-ball skills are outstanding. His 21st double of the year. Pretty good pitch right here, too. This ball is down, but he just kind of goes down and sinks into his legs and finds a barrel right down the right field line.
Oh, it's amazing. He's a .273 hitter. He's a .260 hitter with 2 strikes.
You see how short and tight that swing is, though?
I wonder if this is always the hitter he's going to be, or if he's ever going to be a guy at first base who tries to add a little power. He's always a high on base guy. Inside to Vaughn Grissom, who's the tying run now with one away. Angels came a couple of feet away from the lead in the 7th.
Like Josh Walker, the left-hander, starting to get heated up.
Interesting that it's Walker and not Grant Wolfram, who is usually the leverage lefty. Now Wolfram's last outing was a rough one, so was Walker's. Both allowing runs over the weekend against the Phillies.
Yeah, the Oriole bullpen have been really good into the final 2 games against the Phillies.
Man in the middll there, Cano. Yennier Cano, he might be the 9th inning guy today, but we'll wait and see. Still a couple outs to get there. Down to third, that's off the glove of Encarnacion Strand, and that'll put the Angels on the board. Grissom headed for second, beats the throw there. Ola Chanuel's in to score, and the Angels finally get on the board on a ground ball mishandled at third by Christian Encarnacion Strand.
Ball was struck firm for sure to the backhand side. Wait and see if they're going to give this a hit or an error. There's a look at it too. This ball's going to be hooking away. And boy, just came up with his glove. Ball stayed down.
And the ruling is an E5. Encarnacion Strand's 3rd error of the year. So now the tying run at second, and the young Denzer Guzman, 22-year-old, at the plate. Guzman, a high fly to left field. Franklin settles underneath it. Grissom holds at second. Pretty strong throw to the cutoff man. First time we've gotten to see Christian Franklin's arm, and it was a good one. Sunday, August 23rd, the Orioles host the Rays. 20,000 fans receive an exclusive O's cap presented by DAP. Go to Orioles.com/tickets. It's up to young Moises Ballesteros now in his Angel debut. And Ballesteros chases a slider for a strike.
That's Andrew Kittredge right there. Most all of his balls are going to be down. It's more of an east to west approach. Likes to run the 2-seamer away from the lefties. Sliders in.
A little tapper. Kittredge off the mound with a bare hand. Shot puts it off Ballesteros. However,
out.
Ballesteros will be called out.
Ballesteros got out of that 45-foot line is what he did. You see halfway down first base, there's a double line right there, and you are supposed, you can be on the line, but you can't be inside that line.
So a rather unusual play, but it ends the inning. The Angels get an unearned run, strand a runner because of this. He was way
look where he
inside.
is. You hit that 45-foot line, you can't be there, big fella.
Our splash cam presented by Hyundai. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Deals so right it almost feels wrong. Only at your local Hyundai dealer. Yep, that's the splash of the night. It's not the bird bath, it's the beer bath for the guy who had the foul ball hit his Modelo.
Well, there's Mitch Ferris making his 25th appearance of the year. 45 and a third. 46 strikeouts, that's a good number. 21 walks, though. Keep an eye on that. The opponent's hitting 277 off the left-hander, Ferris.
Well, he replaces Grayson Rodriguez. It was one of the best performances of Grayson Rodriguez's career, quite frankly. 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned, a walk, 6 strikeouts, 98 pitches, 69 strikes against his old team. As Carlos Narvaez, new Oriole, grounds out. Just another oddity this very strange day, Rodriguez was exceptional.
He was outstanding. Threw a lot of first pitch strikes, only walked one. Walks have been a little bit of an issue this year for Grayson Rodriguez, but that's back-to-back solid starts for him. So the Angels have to be pretty excited about that, as Tyler O'Neill's going to grab a bat and pinch hit.
Grayson's first quality start since his last Orioles start, July 31st, 2024. O'Neill batting for Beavers in a 1-run game. And Tyler will take one wide. Again, the Orioles trying to start the post-trade deadline era with a win after sending Adley Rutschman and Jake Rogers to Boston, Taylor Ward to Seattle, Tyler Wells to Tampa Bay. And for the folks in the clubhouse, they heard from Mike Elias, who spoke to the team before the game as Yennier Cano warms up. They heard from Craig Albernaz, who addressed the team briefly as well. The message is it's a 50-game sprint. And though it feels like a rather dark-hearted and depressing couple of days, and it is, again, for folks, the Orioles are 2.5 back of the playoff spot. They are still very much in the picture. They have this make-or-break stretch here at 3 against the Angels.
With the Guardians losing, by the way, right now.
3 in Texas. The Rangers are one of the teams ahead of the Orioles, a half game ahead. 3 in Minnesota. The Twins are a game and a half ahead of the Orioles. Now the Guardians got better. They added Foster Griffin, who was one of the best pitchers in the majors this year. They added Joe Adele from the Angels. Maybe that helps them a little bit. But the Orioles going to have a pivotal 9 games. They probably need to go 6-3 or 7-2. Popped up by O'Neill and out of play. Here is the upcoming schedule. It's brought to you by Science and Kirk. Injured in an accident? Call Science and Kirk or visit youhavealawyer.com. Remember, you have a lawyer. It's going to get a lot trickier. Tampa Bay's after that. But if they want to have any chance at all, any chance, you got to beat Texas and Minnesota. Slam by O'Neill. Left center field. Is it too high? Get up and we'll go. Another pinch hit homer for Tyler O'Neill. And the team with the most pinch hit RBIs in baseball just got another as O'Neill goes deep off the bench again, and he stretches out that Oriole lead.
Well, I tell you what, Craig Albernaz, folks, I'm going to tell you, and it started in Detroit for me. He has been pushing the right buttons, plugging the guys in and chances to have success. And Tyler O'Neill just buried that one out toward left center field. Little insurance for the Orioles here in the bottom of the 8th inning. That was an impressive swing. That's going up top shelf and getting one right there.
3rd pinch hit homer over the last month for Tyler O'Neill.
Watch him go up there and just flatten out his swing just enough. Boy, you see Meckler going back and not enough room for him. Just over his glove. And the Orioles get that 1 run back that they needed.
Pete Alonso in the left for out number 2. Three pinch hit home runs. July 8th against the Cubs. July 27th in Detroit. That was a week ago yesterday. And August 4th here. What's going on there? I think that might have been part of the Pokemon Go night. Might have been Snorlax costume. Outside to Gunnar, it's 1-0. Well, we got a guy in a Buc-ee's outfit. That's not a Pokemon, that's Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's.
Yep.
Everybody knows Buc-ee's.
Yep. And then who's next to him? Buc-ee's and Beavers. Let's see what you guys are doing. By the way, that looks a little bit like the Dylan Beavers bobblehead. Have you seen that?
I have not.
That's going to be coming out shortly here in Double-A for the Chesapeake Bay Sox. It's Dylan Beavers as a Beaver. Sunday, August 9th, this upcoming Sunday. 4-pitch walk for Gunnar. And runner aboard for Encarnacion Strand. Here comes Mike Maddox. Well, don't forget to score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, though probably not Bucky's hoodies. We've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com/Orioles, the official source for your Baltimore Orioles gear. Christian Encarnacion Serena has the hardest hit ball of his season today. He's walloped 2 balls to left, but he is 0 for 3. Blaze Alexander hoping to be back by the end of the month, chatting with Tyler O'Neill after O'Neill's pinch hit home run.
I was talking to Blaze the other day. He's like, I'm ready to go. I said, dude, you're not ready yet. He said, no, but it feels good.
Oh, Blaze.
He wants to get out there so bad.
They want him back very badly. They really do. What a season he's been having. 312, 807 OPS.
Yeah. And I'm excited potentially to see Helsley come back maybe in September, and maybe even Felix Bautista come back too. That would be exciting.
Yeah, Felix threw his first live BP today, which after the labrum and rotator cuff issues, we just didn't know if we'd get to this spot from a year ago. So the fact that he's made it so far this far is encouraging. We'll see, but there's a chance. There's still exciting stuff. I mean, there is still stuff to look forward to on what's been an emotional and sad last couple of days for Orioles fans. And again, you can be sad and you can also look forward to certain things. I know that seems like a contradiction, but a lot of people are sad about Adley Rutschman leaving, as we said, rightfully so. It is a sad day. There are still plenty of things to look forward to for this team. If you need a day, a week, time to get through your feelings, get through them. We understand. We're feeling it too. But it would be great to see Bautista back here. Blaze Alexander, Ryan Helsley, Samuel Basayo all on the comeback trail. And you root for these guys, man. You root for the guys that are here who have played their tails off all year. 2-2, Henderson running. He'll come back.
It's hard not to root for this bunch. It really is. Bunch of good guys. We're in the clubhouse every day talking to these guys, and I mean, there is a ton, most every one of those guys, good guys, man. And you feel for them, because I mean, look, Rutschman leaves, and a lot of those guys came up with Rutsch in the minor leagues, came up through the system.
Swing and a miss by CES. The Orioles get that run back on a Tyler O'Neill blast.
Do it, T.O. This is what you call going top shelf and getting you one. Go get you one, kid. Watch this. Top shelf, and boy, he finds the barrel out toward left center field. T.O. gets that one run back for the Orioles, and they will take a 2-run lead into the ninth.
Tonight's Supermo Camp presented by Hyundai, the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Deals so right it almost feels wrong. Only at your local Hyundai dealer. How about the first big league stolen base tonight, Ben?
Yeah, saw him get his first big league walk and then his first big league stolen base for Christian Franklin.
Scored his first big league run as well, and that run important in a 3-1 game, which will hopefully be closed out by the man who recently signed the new contract, Yennier Cano.
Cano making his 50th appearance of the year, hunting his second save of the season. 37 2/3, only 8 walks, 32 punch-outs, but opponents only hitting 194 off the big right-hander, Cano.
No Tyler Wells. He was traded to Tampa Bay yesterday for Michael Ferret. So Cano is the man in the ninth tonight, facing Josh Lowe, Tyler Heineman, and Wade Meckler. That's 3 lefties. That's an unusual pocket for Cano. But the Orioles are in a little bit of an unusual place with Ryan Helsley hurt and without Tyler Wells. Larry Taveras replaces Tyler O'Neill, who pinch hit for Dylan Beavers as the new defender in right. Slicing to left center field. There's a hit for Lowe to begin the ninth. It bags off the base of the fence, and the Angels will bring the tying run to the plate on a Josh Lowe double.
5th double of the season for Lowe. So the pinch hitting for him, 2 for 2 off the bench, a single, and now this double to the backside of the field. Oh, it's never easy, is it? It certainly hadn't been for the Orioles this year.
Heineman, who had an amazing year with the Jays last season, really struggled this year. 174. Takes low for ball 1. Yennier Cano is looking for his 17th career save and just his 2nd of the year. And lefties this season, 255, 674 OPS against Cano. Righties are 159 with a 387. By the way, that Vaughn Grissom play in the 8th inning has been changed to a double. So that's now a hit. And it means it's an earned run against Andrew Kittredge. It goes an inning, 2 hits, 1 earned run, and a strikeout. Kittredge had not allowed an earned run in 15 straight. He's now allowed an earned run in 2 straight. The Orioles got it back. And Cano's trying to uphold this advantage. His 1-2. Sails up and away to Tyler Heineman. Wade Meckler, perfect at the plate tonight, is on deck. The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball right side. Alonso for Cano, and there's out number 1. Lowe does move to third, a move of little consequence. But now, Ben, that O'Neill home run with a runner at third looks huge. Enormous.
Huge. Pete Alonso has to retreat just a little bit, but a nice feed over to Yennier Cano covering the bag.
Meckler's had a really nice year. 295 into the night, now at 305, OPS 799. Strike 1 called on a splitter. That may have been worthy of one of the Angels' 2 challenges. Two strikes on Meckler with a 2-run lead. O'Neill home run, not the game winner, but right now it could potentially be the game saver. Still work to do. Here's the 0-2. An Oriole team that knows it has underachieved, still feels like it has pieces to make a push. 50 games left to do so. 2.5 back in a very crowded American League field where Cleveland, Minnesota, and Seattle all went out and added. The Rangers didn't do a whole lot. The Tigers, obviously, who are tied with the Orioles, trade Tarek Skubal to LA and Casey Mize to San Diego. The Blue Jays are still lingering, 4 back of the wild card.
Yes, sir.
Strike 3 called and subsequently challenged.
The previous pitch was called a strike. The batter has challenged.
ABS powered by T-Mobile. Is it strike 3? Yes!
The pitch was a strike. It is strike 3. Los Angeles has 1 remaining challenge.
Oh, is it ever? By a pinky fingernail.
By an eyelash is what it was, too.
Now it's Neto, who very nearly hit a 3-run homer in the 7th.
Leads this team with 19 home runs, does Neto, too. Out of that leadoff spot.
That's strike one. Snorlax, Bucky, and whichever one that is, they know they're a strike away.
Big time splitter right there. That thing just absolutely disappeared.
And you don't want to see this guy, given his reputation, Mike Trout. The go-ahead run on deck could be stranded to end the game. 1-2. One strike away from victory. Down and out for ball two. What do you think here?
Man, if he could throw that same splitter he threw 2 pitches ago, that thing stayed in the zone a long time and just disappeared.
2-2. He threw it, and he gets the strikeout. Cano ends the game. The Orioles needed this.
Big time.
They needed some good vibes. After a strange deadline day yesterday, they needed a win, and despite being out hit by 7, they get a win. It's a step in the right direction for what they believe will be a 50-game sprint to the finish. Orioles 3, Angels 1. Your final score.
Orioles do it just enough offensively. The Polar Bear, a big 2 RBI single in the 3rd, and then Tyler O'Neill off the bench with his 8th long ball of the year. The Orioles win this one 3-1. Only got 4 hits on the night. The Angels get 11, but the Orioles outlast the Angels. And so mission accomplished. Cleveland is losing. The Twins are losing as well. So you're saying there's a chance.
You're saying there's a chance. You just never know. The new guys tonight, Christian Franklin walked, scored a run, and stole a base on his big league debut. Made a catch up against the wall in left field, 2 to end the 7th. Carlos Narvaez, limited at the plate, hit by a pitch that was in the 3rd inning rally, but certainly, Ben, it looked like he had the chemistry with his new pitchers, and Cade Povich led the way with 6 shutout.
Cade Povich was outstanding, man, but this is the Polar Bear in the 3rd inning. Steps to the plate, bases loaded, nobody out, just shoves one straight away center field, picks up a couple of RBIs on that base hit, and it was RBI number 70 and 71 on the season for the Polar Bear.
He's with us right now, Pete Alonso. Let's start with the hit, Pete. You guys only had 3 of them against Grayson Rodriguez on the night. Were you thinking first pitch slider in that sequence?
Honestly, I was just looking for just any good pitch to hit, and he laid one in there, and thankfully I was able to capitalize right there. I mean, guys in front of me did a lovely job of grinding some ABs out, and I mean, just really happy to get this win today.
Petey, I tell you what, the fan base, man, behind you guys big time. A lot of noise here at the yard tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we appreciate you guys like sticking with us the whole way. I mean, the fans have been awesome today. I know it's been emotional for this city and the organization, but we're going to keep going, and we're going to do the best we can and win games. Keep showing out, guys, because when you guys show up, we play better. So keep supporting us. We love you guys. Thank you very much.
Pete, can you take us inside a little bit what it's like given the trade deadline, given the deals yesterday, and given the fact that you have to come back and play a baseball game tonight without some of your friends?
Well, I'll tell you what, the people we have in that clubhouse, I mean, they're true professionals, and we're going to go out there, give everything we have regardless of the circumstances. This group is tough, and we want to win regardless of yesterday. But moving forward, we want to win. We know that this organization wants to win. We know that the fans in the city want us to win. So we're going to keep going for you guys and for each other. And let's have a hell of the rest of the year.
Petey, you're one of the leaders in this clubhouse. You've been through this before. Did you have a message for the team yourself about what was going on in the situation and what's left the final 49 games now?
Let's roll. Let's make it happen. We can't sit around and wait. We got to make it happen. And tonight, getting this win, that's a great first step. I mean, 49's a lot of games, and we got to play our best baseball. We need the fans to come out and support us, and we're going to give the best we can every single night.
Hey, Pete, thanks for joining us. Thanks for making it happen tonight.
Thank you, guys. Go
Congrats.
God, go O's. Thank you, guys.
All right, buddy.
Well, that's one for the Orioles, and they start this 50-game sprint with a victory. Guardians are going to the ninth down 6-2 to Pete's old team, the Mets. So maybe, just maybe, the Orioles will be a game and a half back tomorrow with 2 to go against the Angels. Thanks for sticking with us. Again, we know it's been an unusual, emotional, odd couple of days here in Birdland. We appreciate y'all being with us tonight. It was great to see Christian Franklin do his thing in his big league debut. Kate Povich, 6 shutout. Pete Alonso, the big hit. And the Orioles are 3-1 winners. More to come for Ben and Melanie Newman. O's Extra postgame is next.